Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we are going to be looking at a hefty axe known as the Minotaur. The Minotaur is an ancient axe, and it does have some pretty sweet damage on it, although it is relatively slow. The level requirement is middling, which only is level 45, and let's go over this item together and talk about the Minotaur in its various forms. So right off the bat, you see that it has 149 to 285 damage, which is relatively high for level 45. It does have a strength requirement of 125, which is not bad, and it is a slow weapon. So we have to keep that in mind as we examine this. It does have an increase in damage of 140 to 200%, so it is quite a variable there of 60% ED. We have a bonus damage of 20 to 30 added directly to the weapon, as well as crushing blow, which is added to the weapon, of 30%. So we have a 30% chance to deal 25% damage to the monster in his current HP, not his maximum. This is 12.5% versus bosses and 10% versus players. 30% crushing blow is always nice to have on a weapon. We also have hits blinds target +2, which actually works exceedingly well with whirlwind. Hits blinds target actually does proc with whirlwind because I think it's considered a curse, not a procking effect. It slows target by 50%, which is also very nice to have on Whirlwind. And basically, slows target will essentially slow any monster that you hit by 50% up to a cap of 80%. And it does stack with other items, but not like on top of each other. So if you were wearing like a 50% and a 20%, it wouldn't go 50 plus 20. What it does is it gives you a 20% off of what's left. So this particular item also has +20 to strength, which is going to give us a nice little damage bonus and half freeze duration. You can, of course, socket this item, and you can put anything you want into it. It does have a rather unique graphic, and I think that a lot of people will find that that graphic is quite interesting. Although it doesn't quite look the same as it does on the screen as it does in his hands. Notice the handle is way longer in his hands than it is on the screen. What has it got, an extendo pole? You can also find this weapon ethereal, and in its ethereal form, it does have some rather massive damage of 212 to 411, with a strength requirement of 115 and level 45. That's actually like really high damage for a mid-tier weapon. However, you can't really use this mid-tier because there's no way to make it indestructible at level 45. You would have to put a Zod rune in it, and that would make it level 69, so keep that in mind. Now, we can, of course, upgrade this item, and if we upgrade this item, it will get more damage. It is an exceptional item already, so we are going to need a Pull rune, a Lum rune, and we are going to need 2 perfect emeralds. And we're going to upgrade this to its higher tier, and we're going to see what kind of damage it gets when upgraded. So first we'll do the non-ethereal version, which is the Ancient Axe. I forgot to say that the strength does vary by 5 points. Not a big deal there, but it is 15 to 20 strength. So this is going to go from 149 to 285, 125 strength requirement, and level 45, to the Glorious Axe of 200 to 402, 55 strength dexterity requirement, 164 strength requirement, and level 73. Now, the damage on this is actually not bad for level 73, but I feel like there are better options. The strength and dex didn't go up so ridiculously high that that's unusable by most characters, so not a bad upgrade, actually. And let's take a look at the ethereal version. So the ethereal version is going to go from 212 to 411. It's going to go from 115 strength and 69 level, 69 level. 69 level because of the Zod. 45 level to 290 damage to 588, 45 dex, 154 strength, level 76 requirement, and it's actually not bad for a level 76 item. It could be a little bit better, but the slow attack speed does really hold it back. But let's go test it out, shall we? I should also mention that because of the massive amount of damage, the crushing blow, the hits blinds target, and the slow, this actually would make an exceedingly good iron golem. So keep that in mind. And as you can see, the hits blinds target does in fact work in Whirlwind, and it actually does some pretty nice damage. My whirlwinding skills are probably middling to best. I don't really play barbarians that often. But as you can see, the damage on it is certainly not absolutely terrible. The blinding effect actually does work fairly nice to keep the monsters from murdering us. And the hits, blinds, target, the slows, and the crushing blow are all doing their job. It's not the fastest weapon in existence, but if utilized with the proper equipment, I feel like it could be fairly effective. I'm not sure if I would specifically spend a Zod on it, so let's take a look at the non-ethereal version's damage, and we'll play around with that. So let's see if we can kill Shanky Poo here. Oh god, they took my mana away. The thieves. Stop stealing my mana pool. Now, as far as the crowd control goes on this item, it's actually quite nice, and the hits blind target seems to apply all the time. Quite honestly, I feel like the crowd control potential on this is extremely high, and maybe that's exactly what they were going for. The combination of the slows target and the hits blinds target together make for an extremely nice crowd control weapon. You could potentially even, in my opinion, put a Cham Rune in here, which could theoretically make this even higher on its crowd control ability. You're talking about hits blinds target, slows target, and then you also add in some freezes target effect. That could be really nice. I'm not exactly sure if I have a Cham Rune just sitting around, but it could be something fun that I could play around with. Oh no, Sur Runes. Oh, it could enhance the hits blinds target with a Sur Rune. I do not have a Cham Rune, do I? Sadness. The sadness. You could also put a Shell Rune in there to make this faster if you wanted to. And you could put a Burr Rune in there to give it more crushing blow. So we'd be sitting at, 50% crushing blow instead of 30%, which wouldn't actually be terrible. And, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting choices that you could do for this particular weapon. Is this particular weapon best in slot? Probably not. Would you want to use this on your Axe Barbarian? I mean, I could see it as a kind of like a defensive weapon. From certain perspectives, especially considering it has rather high damage, combined with rather nice amount of lifesteal, combined with the slows target effect, the hits blinds target effect, and the crushing blow, it actually works fairly nicely as a sort of a defensive weapon, and it might be something that you could utilize more in hardcore. The hits blinds target is going to make most of the monsters unable to see you as you whirlwind through them, and the slows target by is going to slow the monsters down, the melee ones, and prevent them from chasing you. And if they're blinded and slowed, they're not going to be able to chase you very well at all. Not really sure I'd spend a Zod root on it, but that's actually not terrible. I almost feel like this could be a fairly decent charger weapon, like Paladin Charger. Because I'm thinking off the top of my head, if you use charge in PvP, and you hit somebody with your charge attack and you don't kill them, slowing them down by 50% can be devastating. And not only would you get the nice slow, but you'd also get the small crushing blow of 10%. And it does a pretty large amount of damage physically. To get an idea, trying to think if I have anything that's even close to charge on this particular character, which I probably don't. But I think Leap is 425, Berserk is 400, that's 900? Berserk is 900. So we'd be talking about somewhere around this kind of damage, so 4,000 to 8,300 as far as charge was concerned. I think it actually does more than that, because I'm pretty sure like when you max out charge completely, it's something like 1,500%, which is 500% more than what Berserk is giving me right now. So keep that in mind. All in all, it's definitely a very interesting weapon, and I feel like it could come in handy when you're in big groups blinding them, or when you're specifically fighting a boss that you'd want to, slow down by 50%. it's just an all-around nice little axe. I'm not really sure if you specifically would want to upgrade it, but if you did find the ethereal version, the ethereal upgraded version is certainly very nice. And like I said earlier, it would also make a very nice iron golem if you were a necromancer. So if you happen to find a minotaur, hang on to it, maybe use it as an iron golem later. I know I know as an iron golem necromancer, we tend to go through items rather quickly. If our golem dies or glitches out, we're always looking for that next iron golem item. Now, where can you find the Minotaur axe if you're looking for it? Let's look that up real quick, shall we? So the Minotaur axe is a nightmare level item, and first we're going to take a look at bosses. So very specifically, the highest probability of obtaining one of these in non-quest form is Baal in Nightmare difficulty, Diablo in Nightmare difficulty, and Dariel in Hell, and Mephisto in Hell difficulty. They're all fairly good chances. Looks like you have a pretty good chance of getting this from all of the Act bosses in Nightmare and Hell difficulty, including Duriel, but Duriel is such a troll, I would not farm him. Let's take a look at super uniques. So super uniques, the Cow King has an extremely good chance. Neelathak, Summoner, Radamant, Countess, Cow King in Nightmare difficulty as well as Hell. The Hell version has, the Hell Cow King has a much better chance, but the Nightmare Cow King has a 1 in 8,000, whereas the Hell is 1 in 2,000. Doc Farron has a pretty good chance as well in Bloody Foothills. That's interesting, as well as Pindleskin in Nightmare difficulty. And if we go by area levels, let's see here. Looks like the Secret Cow level has a pretty darn good chance of dropping this item, as well as a lot of monsters in the Ariat Plateau and Frozen Tundra, and the Frigid Highlands and Bloody Foothills. For some reason, a lot of the monsters in the Bloody Foothills, Frozen Tundra, Frigid Highlands, and Nightmare difficulty all have a pretty good chance of doing this. So maybe a good idea might be to walk Bloody Foothills and Frigid Highlands with some really nice magic find and see if you can get this particular item to pop out. Also, the Cow level in Nightmare difficulty, so running the Cow level with high magic find will probably net you this item. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and if you find a Minotaur axe and you have a specific use for it, feel free to tell me down in the comments what you're doing with it. And as always, keep watching.